Buddhist philosophy, with its profound wisdom and permeable insight, presents us with a pathway to understanding the nature of reality through the exploration of the three universal truths. These principles, known as Anicca, Dukkha, and Anatta, are central to Buddhist teaching and offer a lens through which we can view our lives with greater depth and renewed clarity. By engaging with these truths, individuals can undergo a transformational shift in perspective, affecting everything from routine daily interactions to complex personal growth initiatives. The journey into these truths is not merely an intellectual exercise, but a practical exploration that reaches across every aspect of life. It challenges our conventional perceptions of the world and invites us to reconsider what we believe to be the immovable aspects of our existence. This can lead to profound changes in how we approach relationships, handle personal challenges, and make important decisions. With a greater understanding of the foundational truths that belay the very nature of our reality, we can cultivate a life that closely aligns with those truths, allowing us to carve out a much more fulfilling path. As we delve deeper into these topics within this video, we will explore the broader implications as they relate to personal development and spiritual growth, providing you with some actionable ways to take the key lessons learned and incorporate them into your daily lives. Consider your life for a moment. If you were able to enhance and expand your feelings of peace, purpose, and prosperity, what would that do for your psyche? How would your life change? How would your relationships improve? Embracing these truths can liberate us from the constraints of our habitual and oppressive responses and perceptions, and lead us forward into a life that is a much more positive representation of how we project ourselves into our reality. So let's go ahead and jump in. The first universal truth in Buddhist philosophy is known as Anicca, or impermanence. This principle asserts that everything in our lives, emotions, thoughts, relationships, and material possessions, is always changing. Nothing is permanent. Embracing this truth can profoundly impact our daily lives by decreasing our attachment to specific outcomes and helping us to appreciate the constant flow of life. What exactly does impermanence mean? At its core, it suggests that the very fabric of our existence is woven with transience. Our feelings, beliefs, and even our physical surroundings are not fixed. They evolve over time. This can be a challenging concept, especially in a culture that often seeks to establish security and permanence. However, by accepting that change is the only constant, we can begin to transform our approach to life, learning to value the present more than the elusive and often illusory security of permanence. With a deeper understanding of impermanence, we can explore practical ways to integrate this wisdom into our everyday lives. One of those ways is through the practice of mindfulness. The practice of mindfulness involves being fully present and engaged with the current moment. By recognizing that each experience is temporary, we can cherish the now, savoring interactions, enjoying the beauty around us, and fully engaging with our current tasks. This heightened appreciation can enrich our lives immensely, making us more aware and grateful for the fleeting moments we often take for granted. Life is inherently a series of transitions. By understanding and accepting impermanence, we can better navigate these changes. This perspective allows us to face life's unpredictabilities with a calmer mind and a more adaptable approach, reducing the fear and anxiety that often accompany the unknown. Resilience built on the acceptance of impermanence prepares us to face life's challenges with grace and flexibility. One of the most liberating practices influenced by the concept of impermanence is the ability to let go. This can apply to outdated beliefs that no longer serve us, grievances that we hold on to, or behaviors that have proven unhelpful. Letting go becomes easier when we accept that holding on is contrary to the natural order of continuous change. This release not only frees up emotional space, but also opens us up to new possibilities and growth. Embracing impermanence doesn't just help us cope with change, it encourages us to lead lives rich with meaning and joy, anchored in the present and free from the burdens of the past and the anxiety of the future. As we continue to explore and apply these practices, we can find that the constant flux of life is not a path to fear, but a journey to be embraced with wisdom and courage. Before we continue, if you are finding this content useful and informative, please consider liking, dropping a comment below, and subscribing to the channel. It really helps a ton and would be greatly appreciated. Okay, now let's get back to the video. The second universal truth in Buddhist philosophy, dukkha, or suffering, delves into a profound aspect of human experience. This truth articulates that much of human suffering is a result of attachments, whether to physical possessions, relationships, ideologies, or even our self-identity. This attachment fosters not only overt pain but also a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction, as our happiness becomes contingent upon conditions that are inherently unstable and transient. To mitigate the suffering caused by attachment, one effective approach is to introspectively consider what genuinely brings us joy. Often, we find ourselves chasing fleeting pleasures or material gains, mistaking them for true happiness. By shifting our focus towards more enduring sources of joy, like personal development, meaningful relationships, and altruistic acts, we can cultivate a deeper, more lasting feeling of fulfillment. This kind of fulfillment, rooted in growth and contribution, is less susceptible to the ebbs and flows of external circumstances, thereby reducing the potential for suffering. Also, understanding that suffering is a universal human experience can radically transform how we interact with others. Recognizing our shared vulnerability to pain allows us to be more empathetic and compassionate. This shift in perspective can dissolve barriers of misunderstanding and judgment, paving the way for deeper, more empathetic relationships. Empathy not only enriches our connections with others, but also enhances our collective ability to navigate the complexities of human emotions and situations. By practicing compassion, we contribute to a more understanding and supportive community, easing collective suffering. Another practical application of understanding dukkha involves incorporating stress reduction strategies into our daily lives. Stress often arises from our desires for control and perfection, or from seeking validation through external sources. By identifying and acknowledging these patterns, we can begin to realign our priorities, focusing on what truly nurtures our well-being. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation, guided relaxation, regular physical activity, and maintaining a balanced lifestyle can profoundly decrease stress levels. Moreover, adopting a mindset that accepts imperfection and appreciates the present can significantly alleviate the pressure that leads to stress. By embracing the truth of dukkha, we not only confront and understand the root causes of suffering, but also learn to live with a greater sense of peace and fulfillment. This involves a thoughtful reassessment of our values and attachments, the cultivation of empathy and compassion, and the integration of stress-reducing practices into our everyday life. Through these steps, we can transform our experience of suffering into an opportunity for personal growth and deeper human connection. The third universal truth in Buddhist philosophy, Anatta or non-self, challenges one of the most deeply ingrained aspects of human perception, the concept of a permanent, indivisible self. Anatta suggests that what we consider to be our self, our ego and identity, is actually a construct made up of ever-changing experiences and societal influences. This fluid and transient nature of selfhood means that the rigid, singular identity we often cling to is, in fact, an illusion. Understanding Anatta can lead to significant shifts in how we view ourselves and interact with the world. By recognizing that the ego is not a fixed entity, we can begin to deconstruct its dominance in our lives. This realization helps in mitigating ego-driven behaviors such as arrogance, aggressiveness, and the need to dominate others, all of which are sources of conflict and suffering. As we lessen our attachment to this ephemeral self, our interactions become more authentic and compassionate, significantly reducing interpersonal conflicts and enhancing our relationships. Moreover, the concept of non-self extends beyond personal transformation to influence our interactions with the larger world. When we acknowledge that we are not isolated, autonomous entities, but rather parts of a broader, interconnected tapestry of life, our sense of responsibility expands. This broader perspective fosters a spirit of cooperation and care for others and the environment, encouraging behaviors that are not just self-serving, but also beneficial to the community and the natural world. It promotes a lifestyle of ethical living and sustainability, rooted in the understanding of our shared existence and collective destiny. Anatta also offers profound implications for mental health. Many mental health challenges, such as anxiety and depression, arise from a discrepancy between one's perceived self and reality. These discrepancies can create feelings of inadequacy, alienation, and unreality. By reducing our attachment to a static self-concept, we can alleviate these distressing feelings, Embracing the fluidity of our identity helps in accepting change and imperfection as natural, reducing the pressures that lead to mental strain. This more flexible self-view encourages resilience and adaptability, qualities that enhance our ability to cope with life's challenges in healthier ways. In essence, the teaching of Anatta provides a framework for understanding ourselves not as isolated beings, but as part of a larger dynamic process. This shift in perspective invites a more compassionate, connected, and mentally resilient way of living. It encourages us to let go of rigid self-definitions, to embrace change and to engage with the world and others in a more meaningful and harmonious way. As we integrate the wisdom of non-self, we find that our lives can become less about defending a fragile sense of identity and more about living in harmony with the natural flow of life. To effectively integrate the profound teachings of the three universal truths, Anicca, Dukkha, and Anatta, into daily life, it is crucial to adopt specific, actionable practices that foster deeper understanding and transformation. Here are some targeted strategies to help embody these principles. Begin with a daily practice of mindfulness meditation. Allocate a specific time each day, perhaps 10 to 20 minutes in the morning, to sit in a quiet space without distractions. Use this time to focus on your breath and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice helps cultivate a present-centered awareness, essential for appreciating the impermanence of life and reducing reactive emotional responses. Additionally, keep a daily journal where you can reflect on instances where you noticed the universal truths in action. Write about experiences of change, moments of suffering, and insights into the non-fixed nature of your identity. This habit not only consolidates your daily learnings, but also enhances your ability to see these truths in everyday life, thereby deepening your understanding. Lastly, keep the lines of communication open. Try to actively participate in, or even initiate discussion groups that focus on philosophical explorations related to the universal truths. These could be informal gatherings in your community, online forums, or regular meetings at local community centers. Engaging with others offers diverse perspectives and deepens comprehension through dialogue. And if you are really motivated to make significant changes in your life, you could even take it a step further and look into attending classes or retreats that focus on the study of Buddhist principles. Or you could look to establish a relationship with a mentor or teacher experienced in these types of practices. As we conclude, remember that the path to integrating these practices into your life, while unique for each individual, begins a profound journey where the universal truths transcend mere intellectual understanding. They evolve into lived experiences. By embracing these principles, you set sail on a life buoyed by a deeper cosmic awareness, elimination of unnecessary suffering, and a meaningful connection to both yourself and the broader world around you, ultimately guiding you toward genuine peace and fulfillment. Now that we've given you the foundation, it's up to you to go out and do the work. But if you do, the results will be well worth the effort. Alright, that's it for now. If you found this video to be helpful and/or informative, please do us a huge solid and like the video, drop a comment below, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on the Mind Amplified channel.